Hello, what's this week's Down for the Detail podcast? I'm Rob Parkinson, and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Joining the show this week, as ever, we've got Paul Parkin. So, Parky, how was your week after the big win on Saturday?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster actually. Saturday was obviously just unbelievable. I know we'll talk about that in a bit. But following that game, I had a cross country trek by about 4 trains over to the East Coast, over to Filey to meet with the family. So we spent a few days up there, and we come back. We just come back, got the tickets, and now I'm all prepared for Saturday again. It's an absolute whirlwind at the moment. But what else would I be doing at this time of the year? Let's be honest. A lot of rugby fans that be swapping places with me. So no, it's been a bit of a whirlwind the last few days. But I managed to watch the game back the other day, and that pleased me again. So no, it's the excitement. I don't know if I come across like that, but I'm just too giddy at the moment. It's ridiculous.
It's the rock and roll lifestyle of a rugby league podcaster, Paul. That's what it is. It's you watch the game back at least twice, and you relive that moment. And every day gets nearer to that semi-final. We all get that little bit more excited, don't we? That's what I've been doing this week. Been counting down the days. Went down, got my ticket on Monday. Nice queue form, got through pretty quick. So good stuff. Only a couple of days now. Very excited.
Yeah, well, this is how it feels to be a big club. So some clubs get to do this every year, and it's probably like all hat to them now. They're not bothered. But for us, obviously 2019, then we had the Challenge Cup, which was a bit a letdown as a fan, but still a great achievement. But I think this is better. I don't know why. I just think it feels better. There's something about us at the moment that's I just can't put my finger on, but I've never seen or felt anything like it before.
Yeah, it's a moment in it. It's a moment in time which we're all sharing, which is a big thing. Obviously, like you said, with the Challenge Cup, we never really got there. We got there. We played the game, but us fans didn't really experience that Challenge Cup fever. Obviously, the grand final the year before, what a magical moment that was with everybody there. And this one's going to be, even better because I think hopefully we get to the grand final. You got to lose one to win one.
Yeah.
And I thought when we went to play Saints, it was just about being there and experiencing it. And we didn't really, and our mindset for me wasn't, we're gonna go win this. We were all just like, you know what, we're in the grand final. Let's just savor every moment, which is great because obviously we don't think we're ever going to get there, but it's different this time around.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, even myself, when we went to that grand final in 2019, I don't think I went with any commitment thinking that we were going to win the game. I just thought Saints were far too good for us before the game, and it was just in me at the moment. I look around and I don't see anyone as good as us. And that's the difference this year. There is nothing to stop us except ourselves and injuries. But we'll probably touch on that in a bit. But no, it is different. It does feel different. I'm confident, and it's strange because you start to feel part of this elite group of teams that I mentioned that seem to get there every year. Well, this is the second time in 4 seasons. And when you throw in the COVID bits between it, so it was a bit difficult, it doesn't count. That's what big clubs do. They go back to back or whatever. They don't just go to one final. It does feel different. And I don't like being like this, but I'm actually really confident.
And obviously, it's talking about the sport and how we want it to grow. Salford are successful. They win the grand final. That's a name that isn't normally sort of put on that trophy, and that for me opens up sort of the world to rugby league. There's only so many times you can sell Wigan and Saints in a grand final. Salford in a grand final is a new name, and if we do actually go on and win it, that for me opens up the Pandora's box of rugby league. Is it IMF or IMG? The people who are trying to.
Yeah.
Is it IMG?
IMG, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they're looking to sell the sport, and Salford come along and win this grand final. It's a gift for them.
Yeah, and I think the other side of it, besides the other 3 teams involved and possibly Swinton, I think everyone will be wanting us to win it. Everyone will be backing us, even at this stage, and we're still the outsiders, we're still the underdogs in most people's minds. But yeah, it'd be a massive lift for the sport to see a different team on it. I mean, we've not even got through the semi yet, but to get to the final, the other three have all been there and all done it and won it countless times. If you ask somebody from outside the sport, outside the heartlands, can you name Super League teams? We're not going to be one of them names. We win the grand final this year, and people start talking, and people who follow sport in general will know all about us, and it'd be great for us. And again, it's great for the sport because then people look into it and find out, and then there's people in this area, and the rest of the Northwest that probably don't know too much about us, and it certainly helps sell the game. Sorry,
someone just passed out.
My dog wasn't here, and he's just come from absolutely nowhere, scared the life out of me. So yeah, no, it's a massive chance for rugby league. Really, we could change a lot of people's thoughts on not just us, but on the sport itself. That doesn't have to just be 2 or 3 teams every year. And the other side of it is, maybe you don't have to spend millions every year to compete at the top level. You just need the right chemistry.
One team, one dream, Parky. That's the message.
Absolutely.
So what we'll do, we'll look back at the Huddersfield victory. We'll touch on the ladies who were crowned champions in the championship last weekend. We'll look at all the big news coming out of the world of rugby league this week, and Salford Red Devils, and then we'll preview the big game against St Helens on Saturday. So we'll start with our big match review. So, Park, before we start talking about the victory against Huddersfield, we'll just touch on the ladies. They were crowned champions on Sunday of the championship. They beat Stanley late 42 points to 4. Fantastic victory for Chris Bates' ladies, well earned, and obviously a historic moment, a double.
Yeah, I don't know what else you can say about the girls. The first season, it's been an absolute dream, hasn't it? And much deserved, hard work gone into it, and no, I can't say anything but a huge congratulations to them, because they've been an absolute shining example to everyone this year. And I think I don't know, many people might think I'm talking absolute nonsense, but I think they're part of why the club is where it is right now, and why the first team, the men's team there's a buzz, there's a real buzz, and I think it started with them back in February, March. When the first team weren't going so well and things were difficult, we had them to look at and go, people can't get near them. They're that good. It's brilliant. And then it just seems to carry on. Then there was the cup victory. And then this is, tops it all off. It's what you play for. You want to win the league. That's the bread and butter every week. If you win a cup along the way, it's obviously, brilliant. But it's that week to week stuff that's difficult. I mentioned at the start of the year, I think, that this was going to be a build-up, hopefully, for us to go to Super League. And it's getting used to that week-to-week, contact, and getting up the next day and these girls going to work or uni or wherever they're going, and having to do that every week. And they've flown through it. They've been unbelievable. And, just massive congratulations and thank you to them for bringing us, trophies and joy. And I think there's one more step to go, but I've got no doubts about them at all. I think they've just been absolutely unbelievable all year, and just really happy for them.
Yeah, we're also joined by Paul Whiteside, fresh from keeping the economy going. And friends.
Hey lads, yeah, sorry, my youngest just wanted to come on then. She comes in every week when we record, and she's always frightened to death for coming on, but so just come over and say hi. So yeah, I'm all right. How are you lads? You okay?
Yeah, good. Is it Ella?
Yeah, very good.
Is it what, sorry?
Your youngest called?
Ellie,
that's it.
Yeah. She's just getting her teeth brushed now and going to bed. They're back to school now, aren't they? So Imogen started high school on last Monday, so she's got to high school now. She goes on her own, walks home. So she thinks she's 10 men now, but no, she's enjoying it. She enjoyed the win at Huddersfield on the weekend as well. So she hasn't stopped talking about St Helens this week. I think it's going to be a walk in the park. So I'm not so sure myself, but you don't know, do you?
Yeah, obviously, Paul, we were just talking about the ladies and their title-winning victory on Sunday against Stanley. What a fantastic fairy tale season it's been for them so far. Obviously, got still a couple of games to go to get to that grand final, but they've been superb, and we're all proud of their efforts.
Oh yeah, they've been outstanding, haven't they? And we said it every week, haven't they? The rugby that they've played has been like the men's team. You know, it's been exciting stuff. They've scored plenty of points, and I think we were talking about Stanley and saying that they were going to be one of the toughest tests, weren't they? Them and Alton, because Alton was up there as well, and they've dispatched the pair of them. So you know, you can't sing any higher than that, can you? Now, is it playoffs time now? And yeah, it's been a journey, incredible journey. I think when you consider it's the first season, to do what they've done has been outstanding. I think both the ladies and the men's have exceeded all expectations. Really, I mean, I never expected this for either of them. So shows what I know. So they've been tremendous.
Yeah, the playoffs next week. They're either going to play Hull KR or Stanley at home the day after the grand final. So we're going to be obviously focused on that match and the victory against Stanley this week on next week's show. So that's something to look forward to. So let's move on to the men, Parky, and their victory against Huddersfield, 28 points to 0. What a fantastic win for Paul Rowley's men.
It's brilliant, isn't it? You know, I knew it was good on the day, but you get wrapped up in it, and you know the atmosphere was unbelievable, wasn't it? The travelling fans were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But when you watch the game back, you realise how good we really were. And every week we've praised our attack, how you know brilliant we are to watch, how electric going forward. This week, our defence. I mean, we're up against a good Huddersfield side there, very organised, structured. Never had a threat. I never felt in danger at all. When they were 10, 15 out from our line, it just seemed like we snuffed everything out. The determination and the willing to sort of, I don't know, work for each other in defence when things weren't going our way. When we went down to 12 men, you know, again, that was something else. And then obviously you throw that attack on top, and that lightning kind of quick start in the first 10 minutes again, you're blowing teams away. All around, just a brilliant performance, and like I say, just a great day.
Yeah, controlled, measured, calm, and electric at times. Paul, and obviously in playoff rugby, you need to be on your game. Every moment matters. It's not 80 minutes; it's every moment. That's Matt Drinkwater's little quote there, and that's what it is. We had more positive moments than them throughout the game, and now we're through to the semi-final.
Yeah, it's knockout rugby league. It's like playing a Challenge Cup, isn't it? Playoff games like that, you've got to be ready, haven't you? You've got to come out all guns blazing. And I think we've been playing playoff rugby league for the last 6 or 7 weeks anyway. I think in all the matches we've played in, you go to the Cascade, blew them away early doors. Saints at home, Huddersfield at home, the two Catalan games. We've pummeled teams really. I mean, the only blot has been that Leeds game, wasn't it, where we got beat there. But since then, I think the form's been tremendous. And coming out of Huddersfield, there, I expected Huddersfield to be fired up. I thought they'd have a game plan. Me and Imogen turned up at the match pretty nervous. We came out and it was brilliant. It was absolutely outstanding. Again, Burgess scored from that set scrum, and things just got better and better, and you just got like a massive smile on your face while the game's on. I never worried. As soon as we scored that first try, you could just see the way the game was going to go. The lads just wanted it. They wanted everything, every little challenge. You've got like little battles all over the pitch between a centre playing against a centre, a winger against a winger, the halfback, and we won every single one. We were first to everything, and that if we can do that again this Saturday, we can turn them over as well. I really believe it.
I think it was remaining focused, Parky. That was the difference. I think Huddersfield, kind of in that sort of second half of the second half, just lost the plot. They just lost all patience. Wanted to score on every tackle, and we just hoovered the ball up and we just sort of squeezed them to death after that.
Yeah, it kind of, in some ways, but in a very different way, reminded me of the Catalan game at home, where Catalan threw absolutely everything at us and couldn't cross the whitewash. And I think it knocked the stuffing out of them. And then they started trying things that they wouldn't have normally tried, gone away from maybe a system that they've got. I mean, I thought the way we controlled Theo Farge on Saturday was incredible. Every time he got the ball, it seemed like there was 2 or 3 men round him, just cutting off everything, every option he had. And they're a good team, Huddersfield. They've got a lot of really good players in there, but we snuffed out every bit of danger they had. They brought on Price at half time, who's a fantastic young lad. Couldn't get in the game. You wouldn't have known he was there. Just the control, like you say, of everything that we had. When we had the ball, we looked composed. There was no panic. And then defensively, again, when we did go down to 12, then that next set coming off our line, that just showed the intent. There were 3 or 4 men going in, knocking players over. And, it was just a brilliant all-round performance. And to nail somebody like Huddersfield in the playoffs on their own patch, this stage of the season it's an incredible achievement, and massive credit to the whole setup.
The tries, really good tries. Like you said, the Joe Burgess one, the Brodie Croft break for the Callum Watkins, a little kick through by Mark Sneed for the Ryan Bradley effort, and Andy Ackers going 70 metres and throwing the most outrageous dummy, and Tuilala here going for a hot dog. And Salford finished the round. Paul.
Oh, sorry, I thought you saw it back. But what? Tuilala, are you going for what? A hot dog? What's
going
that?
for a hot dog with that dummy.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it was an outrageous dummy, wasn't it? And we needed that, didn't we? That stage in the game. I think it's always nice to finish off with a try, isn't it? And we dominated that game so much. But just going back to what you were saying about the defence there, I mean, I thought the biggest cheer of the day came when we were down to 12 men and we defended that set after Ryan Brown. The sort of the crowd just lifted. It was amazing. It was the defence. I thought they were like Trojans, weren't they? I mean, Jack Ormonroyd, when I watched the game back, he was like a man possessed. He's just running around making tackles, and the whole lot of them really. I thought it was an outstanding performance. But yeah, Andy Ackers deserves all the accolades in the world because he's been brilliant. I think the second half of the season he's been better than the first for him. He's just got better and better each week. He's confident now. He's a player playing with lots and lots of confidence. He knows when to run, and I think that's down to the coaching as well. They've sort of had a word with him and said, go for it, and he has done, and dropped his shoulder there and went and chucked an outrageous dummy. But no, it was great to get over for that try and to see that sort of sea of red behind the sticks. I think it's something that's going to live long in my memory. That I thought was an amazing finish to the game.
Yeah, talking about the crowd parking, the atmosphere, unbelievable. I got in about 45 minutes before kickoff, bit early for my liking with my son and that, but the atmosphere was fizzing then. And as it got nearer to kickoff, the noise got louder and louder. The song got sort of more consistent, and wonderful 80 minutes of constant songs and constant noise. A throwback, I thought, to sort of the early 2000s, but on a much larger scale.
Yeah, we got there. We went on one of the many coaches from the Dog and Partridge, and you got a feeling then it was a bit carefree. Usually you get nerves going to big games, and everyone just seemed really relaxed. And then a lot of them went in the stadium. I stayed outside with my brother and my nephew and one of my mates because they were finishing off a beer like you do, and. All of a sudden, you could just feel this vibe coming from the ground. We were stood away from it. We were probably 500, yards away. And then all of a sudden, this song just struck up from nowhere. And we all just stopped and looked. And we just stared at the back of a stand. We weren't, we weren't looking at anything.
Yeah.
But the noise from inside. And I was like, get a move on because I need to get in there. It's unbelievable. As soon as you walked in, I thought everyone must have already been in the stand. But they weren't. They were all still getting beers. There was hundreds of people just milling about. I thought, well, if this lot are out here, how many are in there? And then when I walked in, I was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. This is what we want every week. You know what I mean? And to be fair, this is what the team deserve right now, and the club is what they deserve every week. That kind of following, that kind of support. It was something special. And like Paul said, and yourself there, Robbie, something that will stick with us. Like the Wigan semi-final a few years ago. Hopefully, like this Saturday, moments like that in time you just don't get. And I think there's something special about Salford fans when they get like that. I don't think other teams back their clubs in the way that we do. I don't know what it is. We appear to be more of a, I don't want the bad element, but more of a football crowd. You know, and that's a thing you don't get with other clubs. So no, it's brilliant atmosphere. And obviously the performance. I think it helps to have that many fans behind us. It felt like a home game. I'm sure the players, during warming up or whatever else, must have felt it, and it must have given them a real lift.
Yeah, and I think obviously what's happened with the Queen this week, and everything's been quite solemn and reflective, and everything's been quite subdued with it on the radio and on TV, everything. But the opportunity to get to the ground and let all that sort out, I think Paul helped. I think it was sort of a mad moment where I think we started singing the national anthem with about 5 minutes ago in that first half. But there you go.
Yeah, well, we set off really early. Imogen wanted to go early and have a bit of breakfast on the way. And that's the earliest I've ever been to a game. We left our house about 9:30. And anyway, we got to Huddersfield and we just nipped over the road for a coffee, and we was coming back to the ground. And there's like some houses off that Leeds Road, like a bit of an housing estate, and then a bit of a bridge. And we was coming over that bridge, and all of a sudden, like Park said, you could hear the singing start, and it was like, wow. That's our supporters, and it was like going to Old Trafford and Main Road or something, years ago, and it was, and I just said to her, then I said, let's get in there as quick as we can, and we did, and it was one of them. We went and sat down to the front because it was that busy. I said, we better go to the front because otherwise everyone's going to stand up. And I said, you won't be able to see, so we ended up going down to the front, and I sort of turned around and you could just see all the faces of people you knew and you recognise, and it was like Barky just said, they nailed it. Salford supporters to me are a different mentality. They're a different breed. I don't disrespect any rugby league supporters, but I heard what a few people said of Wigan and Saints. I think when you've had the success they've had, I think you do have a bit of a different mentality. I think for us, it's a bit of a way of life, really. And I am a bit. It's funny this. Might have said it before. I'm a bit worried, really. Not worried, but sort of scared about Saturday. And I'm scared about getting to the grand final because I think if we do win it, will my relationship with Salford change because we've won something? And will it become like Man City where it was good when you were crap and you were getting beat all the time, you enjoyed it? Now you've won something, is it going to change? But I don't know. Of course I want us to win something, but I come home on Saturday and I'm in my house and I don't know what to do because it just feels like an out of body experience because I'm not used to going to Huddersfield and winning 28-0 in the playoffs. I just sort of floated home back down the M62 because I didn't know what was going on. But you two might better identify with that because when you've watched Salford a while, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
I remember 2002 when we were relegated. Before then, I thought we were the best team in the country, and that relegation, I had to change my mindset. Thinking, we're not even Super League now, and obviously we're now on this journey. Will my mentality change if we actually win something? Don't know, my head will explode before that, Parker. I think it'll be a moment because everything we've gone through, all the ups and the downs, the £1 million miracle, all the the last minute winners, last minute losses, all will just come flooding back for that one magic moment.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I was agreeing with what Paul was saying there. I think something would change if we won something major. And I was trying to work out then in my head, what would it be if we won the Challenge Cup or won the league, which would have that effect? Because the cup's the one thing we've always wanted. It's it's a real enigma to us, isn't it? We're going back to 1938, the last time we won it. It's just not our thing. We have won the league more previous than that, although none of us are going to be remembering us lifting that trophy. But at the same point, it's a strange relationship we have with the club. And I think it's that underdog thing that we love that makes us love the club like we do. And I think if we won the Challenge Cup, that magic, that mystique of the cup would go away because we'd say, we've won that, but it'd still be, but we've won the cup once. It's not. You win the Super League. We win the league this year. That's a massive stake. That's over a whole season. We have then been the best team. That means we're the best team in the league. Not a one-off cup win. This is, and it is a different relationship. It means that next year we have to compete again.
Yeah.
We can't do what we did 2019 to 2020 or 21. We've got to be the big boys again then, and that's where it becomes a little bit difficult, a little bit different for us. But I won't mind giving it a go, by the way. So, if the players are listening, don't take your foot off.
don't take off the gas, basically. Well, that's it. It's playoff rugby, Paul, and they've been on this kind of like sort of level pegging performance, really, at a high level. Because I think in 2019 we were rising, weren't we? And every week we'd say, have we got another level to go? But this team, we're not having to ask that question because we're already at a high level. Can we go another level to beat St Helens on Saturday? Because Saints are a top team and we're in their own backyard. Will we need to go up a gear to what we're experiencing now to turn them over? And that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the question I ask myself every week, or I've been asking myself for the last 2 months. I go to the match every week and think, right, is this going to be the week where it all comes crashing down? And they surprise me. They just come out every week and blow teams away, like the Cass game, the 50 points. I mean, where did that come from, really? I mean, we should have probably won a close game there, but then you got Huddersfield and win 28-0. You got a Catalan and get 40 points. The Saints at home game, you've just beat there the 2 grand finalists from last year. You've not just beat them, you've absolutely wiped the floor with them. So we're, out of all the teams in the league, a lot of the games are close at the moment. I watched the Huddersfield game when they played Wakefield, and I watched that game about the highlights and thought, we could beat them because they just edged it. But we'd have played Wakefield and we got 40, 50 points. So, in a way, I'm not really that worried about St Helens because, do you know what? I've got to St Helens like you have for years, thinking, God, we've got to play well to win here. We've got to play well to compete, to keep the score down. I'm going to that game this weekend thinking, St Helens have got to play well to beat us. They're going to have to play well to beat us because we're playing so well. I think we can dictate the game. We can take the game away from them. So I think they need to be more worried about us. And I've noticed on like social media and that their supporters are flapping a bit, really, going about injuries and this, that, and the other. I'm thinking, you're scared of Salford. You're scared of us. You've got the cartel of Leeds, Wigan, and Saints in this last 4, and then Salford. And them 3 teams are scared of us. We're dangerous because we're not got all the money and what's it they've got, but we are the danger men. We can take it all away from a lot of them, and they know that, and there's nothing we can do. We're coming for them. Yeah.
We're coming for you. Yeah, I've read that on Twitter as well. The Saints fans are Salford's a favourite. So I was like, I've just walked in some kind of parallel universe here, Parky, where we're like the best team in all the land, and we're going to go and steamroll Saints. And it kind of worries me when if a parallel universe collides with another universe, it could cause trouble.
I mean, thinking back, we're looking at, what was it, 1980, the last time we won.
Yeah.
We beat Saints in St Helens. I mean, it's just not a place we go and win, is it? It's a bit like Headingley has been for many years. It's a bit of a graveyard for us. Even that alone, the weight of history on that, it would make Saints favourite. Never mind anything else. I don't buy into any of that. I don't buy into half the injury stories, by the way. I've heard it all before. I think somebody mentioned on Twitter the other day, it may have been Roy Ellaby, I'm not sure. Somebody said about back in 87, 88, when we played Wigan, the semi-final of the Challenge Cup at Bolton. And all week they were telling us that Andy Gregory wasn't playing, Sean Edwards had flu, Ellery Hanley couldn't play. Turned up on the day, we were the ones with players missing. They were at full strength, the mighty Wigan at the time. And you just don't buy into this nonsense. Yes, they have got players missing. We know they have. That's without saying. But I think there is a little bit of worry. I think the other worry for them is that they're going to get beaten off the small club. Out of if they get beat off Wigan or they get beat off Leeds, people go, well, yeah, that could happen. We don't get beat off Salford in the semi-final. I think that's what they're worried about. But yeah, that's all to look forward to now, isn't it? And that atmosphere and everything of getting butterflies now. But just going back to the Huddersfield game, if we perform like that again, we get to that level. We're talking about levels. We just get back to that level, we can win that game. No problem. I've got no worries about it. as some of the individual performances once again. And it doesn't seem, I know we've mentioned Brodie Croft every week, but over the last few weeks, every week a different player seems to have come forward and done something different and really stood out. And, you know, not been about 2 or 3 players like it was in 2019 a lot. I mean, it was all about Jack Hill, we know that. You know, and we had players around him, but it was about him. This year, it's not. I mean, on Saturday, I thought Mark Aid was absolutely outstanding. Probably his best game in a Salford shirt, and he's been playing well. He controlled everything. You know, and he didn't have his half-back partner for that second half. He did get him anyway. We mentioned that the actors were absolutely phenomenal. That sorry. So the week before, it was like Tim Maffei doing it. You know, trying. That's what we've got now. You can't just watch 1 or 2 Salford players. You've got to watch them all, and I think that puts in really good stead and makes it very, very for this Saturday.
I think it might be the way when you're moving your hands around, Mark Parker. That's why the sound might be going off. Maybe we'll see. Paul, you spoke to Kurt Haggerty after the game. This is what he had to say. So, Kurt Haggerty, pleased with the result?
Yeah, he was. He's a nice fella, Kurt Haggerty. He's very quiet, really quietly spoken. I mean, that interview sounded like we was at a funeral, didn't it? Because we were both like really quiet, but we was in a corridor and Paul Rowley was around the corner talking to Trevor Hunt. So I didn't want to like shout or anything, but no. And you know, a bit of history. Kurt Haggerty's dad, Roy, his late father, Roy, played in 1980 in the game Salford won. He was on the bench for Saints, so there's a bit of history for you. And yeah, so I think he's done a good job. I think he's got a great partnership and a great understanding with Paul Rowley. Paul brings him to all the press conferences. He sits with him, and you know he's very much he's very humble. I think Paul Rowley. He doesn't take all the limelight. He likes to share it out and say, yeah, you know, Kurt's doing a good job, and brings players into the press conference well. And I think there's not many other coaches who do that. You know, he really does like to, you know, give him a good mention. He mentions Danny Orr as well, and no, I think Kurt's been great this season for us. I think the players have took to him, and yeah, it was good to chat to him after the game. I'm just gutted I didn't see Ian Watson's press conference because I was hoping to see Ian Watson because he did say hi to me when he walked past, but I couldn't go to his press conference because Paul Rowley was on first. So I would have liked to have heard what he had to say, but I listened to his interview after the game, and he was quite complimentary to us actually, wasn't he? So I think he knew that it was a good win for Salford.
Yeah, he talks about the good defence, talked about the edges working hard, talked about going into the game with no fear, Paul, and that's what it was. That's what it was. There was no fear, and the result was done.
Yeah, no, and I think that's how you've got to approach this Saturday. You've got to go into the game without any fear. And like Parky said there about the threats, I think this season, obviously, Brodie Croft's going to be a big miss for Salford at the weekend. But if you presume Chris Atkins going to step in, I think you've got a player there who is, you know, a model professional, fantastic player, fantastic attitude, and I think he'll do the business. But we've got, if you're Christian Wolf now, I think you look at Salford and think, who do we mark here? Who do we go for? Who do we concentrate on? Because Tim Lafire's good, that Dion Cross is all right, Chris Atkin, Ryan Brierley, Callum Watkins gets the ball out. Who do you target? Because they've got, it's where the point's going to come from. Mark Sneed as well. You know, the way he, like Parky said, I can't agree anymore with Parky. I thought Mark Sneed directed the team, managed the game. As soon as he kicked that penalty goal, Lily Doors, you knew how that game was going to go. He was going to manage it superbly, and he did.
Yeah, unfortunately, Parky, like we've just touched on, Brodie Croft failed a head test and was unavailable against St Helens. But you know what, another great performance it was for him in that first half.
As a player, he's been nothing short of sensational, and he'll be massively missed. I don't think it'll matter who we brought in, you know. And Chris Atkin has never let us down ever. In all the time he's been with us, like Paul's just said there, he's a model pro, and he'll won't let us down. It wouldn't surprise me if he could pick up man of the match, someone like Chris Atkin, because he's got that about him. We saw it at Cass the other week when he made that little break and sent Cal Watkins in. And he's definitely got that. But Brodie, I think it's not just what he's brought on the pitch, it's what he's brought off it as well. his professionalism, his commitment to the cause. And he has got a point to prove, maybe to himself, if not to the people in the NRL. And he's done that. And fingers crossed he comes out as Man of Steel. Now, he certainly should be. He's been phenomenal. But at some point this season, we've been very lucky with the injuries. He hasn't had any. But at some point, you're always going to have to live without a player like that. And this is the test. Yeah, it's come in the biggest game so far, but shouldn't change anything. Won't change the way that Paul Rowley sets us up. Won't change the way we play. And I think with the confidence going through the team, I think you could probably put me in at standoff this week, and the players would still do exactly what they have been doing, and they'll make the runs off whoever's there. I'm full of confidence for him. I really am, and I don't think Saints are going to enjoy it.
Just to remind everyone that Paul Parkin, as a junior, didn't lose a game for 7 years. So with Paul Rowley, get on the phone. Parky's your man. Talking about the stats, Paul. Top tacklers: Watkins 44, Andy Ackers 32, Shane Wright 46, Elijah Taylor 49, and Alex Gerrard 36. Ton of work there for the forwards.
Oh, I thought Elijah Taylor was outstanding. He seemed to tackle everything that moved. When I spoke to him a few weeks ago, he didn't know whether he was going to be here next season. So I've not heard much, have we, recently about him staying? But I'd try and keep him just for his leadership skills and what he brings to the side. His work rate is phenomenal. I think Shane Wright as well, coming back to the team, has given us a massive boost. He's come back at just the right time. Him and King coming back in. I think with Wright as well, his experience as an NRL player, he's got a big game experience. He knows the game. He's not daft. I think he's given a real boost there. And King is going forward as well. I think Gerrard has probably, for me, been one of the signings of the season. He's I can't remember when he made his debut. He didn't start the season. He come in after a few weeks or so, didn't he? But what he brings to the side, he's aggressive. He's always looking to offload the ball. That's what I thought early in the game on Saturday. Like I said, Tyler Dupree, everyone wanted to promote and move the ball. Nobody was dying with the ball. It was just going out all the time. And teams really find that difficult to deal with. And,
it was.
The work rate of the forwards was outstanding.
Yeah, looking at the meat makers, Alex Gerrard 98, Shane Wright 99, Andy Ackers 177, Brodie Croft 93, Tim Laffey 124, and Joe Burgess 109. Parker, I always say if you get 5 or 6 over 100, you're going the right way.
Yeah, it's generally the forwards that I would label that at. They're the ones that have got to make the meters. Your backs get a little bit more freedom at times. Maybe not in the centres like Tim Laffey, but your fullback and wingers get the ball generally from a kick and they get 10, 15 free meters anyway. But them forwards, Andy Ackers, absolutely unbelievable. Again, if he's not in this England squad coming up for the World Cup, then there's something wrong in our game, because I've not seen anybody better than him this year. Certainly his back end of the season, he's been phenomenal. But yeah, you mentioned Alex Gerrard there. Brilliant. I thought Tyler Dupree again worked his socks off. He got a knock in the first half, but he came back on and he's just as solid. I'm surprised Carl Watkins hasn't shown up in them meters, because he's just everywhere again. They singled him out on the coverage, didn't they? I know I've only seen the Sky coverage of it, but about he's a world-class centre, built like a second row, playing in the second row. He's just such a handful, but you could put him anywhere. He's just a natural athlete. And he was making big meters again and putting in some big shots. And he just gets up and gets on. There's never seen him holding his leg or, bear in mind the injury he did have. But no, then forwards right with Shane Wright. Absolutely spot on. Since he's come back, he's made a massive difference to the pack. He's one of those players that reminds me of a bit of, maybe a Mark Shipway or that kind of character, that just does the dirty work, gets stuck in. He's never going to get the glamour. But he's everywhere. He's in every tackle, and he hits hard. He hits really hard. And him and Elijah Taylor in the back row, it gives you that freedom to have a Callum Watkins to go and just play with a bit more freedom. Yeah, it's been brilliant since they've come back. And then Big King, I mean, he just makes me smile. He's one of them players, again, going back to players of the past, he's like a Phil Lula-like character. He always seems to be smiling, you know what I mean? He loves the game, and no, it's just great to see that our forwards are having such a massive impact, because as we know earlier in the season, that wasn't the case. And that's why the likes of Andy Ackers have come on so much, because they created the freedom, opened up that space for him to run them extra 10 metres in. So no, just a brilliant all-round performance. The stats are obviously great to read, but you only have to see what you can see with your own eyes to realise how good we really are.
Yeah. So big thanks for your 3-word match reports and man of the matches. Chairman Bob, excellent game management. Andy Ackers, Paul Burnett, Watson crying, ha ha. Chris Fisher, defence was brilliant. Ackers, Marissa Chaplin, who are we? Taylor, Mike Pevet, boom, boom, boom. Andy Ackers, Soul 67, superb. Ackers, Eric Rawlinson, simply the best. Taylor, Paul Hardman, effort deserves success. Taylor, Graham Lee, awesome team performance. Ernie, one to remember. Ackers, Natalie Taylor, superb defensive effort. Sneed, Stephen Clark with a cheeky laughing face. Stuart Smart, what performance. Ackers, Steve Bennett, great defensive effort. Sneed, Colin Reynolds, defence wins matches. Ackers, Dave Parkin, away fan support. Armand Royd, Richard Martin, superb impregnable defence. Ackers, John Atherton, superb. Affers, Jimmy Unsworth, minerals and backbone. Paul, obviously, yeah, loads of minerals and lots of backbone.
Oh, is that still going about that way? Yeah, best thing you ever said, that John Wilkin. That no, I don't know. It's given us good motivation at the last few weeks.
Nicholas Fletcher, absolutely flipping superb. Taylor, Johnny Crowther, minerals not half. Sutkins, Watson not happy. Taylor, James Hodgson, very quiet. Cowbell, Sneed, OSF, didn't hear the cowbell. Craig, outstanding defensive unit. Mike Murphy, came, saw, conquered team. Colin Wilson, pride, passion, commitment. Taylor, Patrick Conley, what a performance. Taylor, Tom Young, keep on dreaming. Andy Ackers, Mark, robust defensive effort. Taylor, OSF, top-notch defence. Taylor, Salford Red, it's happening. Ackers, Lucas Bradshaw, no Brody Croft, which is a shame. Andy Ackers, Andy Lancashire, incredible determined defence. Andy Ackers, Matt Carr, never in doubt. Sneed, Chris Malone, defensively flawless. GM champions elect. Ackers, Gary, we all Van Dabidozi. Ackers. So Parker, yeah, the Twitterati are in joyous mood.
Yeah, and once again this week, there's no outright right sort of winner there, is he, of any man of the match sort of poll, if you like. There's so many players get mentioned, and so many that could have been that weren't, that did, like we mentioned, Shane Wright, who does that work that people don't generally get to see. But no, I mean, it's just great to see everybody just loving it. The last couple of months have been something special, haven't they? We've been on this podcast for a while, and the amount of times we've had to discuss a poor performance and try and put a bit of gloss on it, or try and make light of something. At the moment, to stop smiling. What are we watching? This is what Saints fans have been treated to for 10, 15, 20 years. The Wigan fans when I was growing up they didn't smile very often, despite winning absolutely everything. But this is unbelievable. We don't need to. You hear these comments coming in from the man of the match, the match reports. Everybody's just absolutely buzzing. So, let's hope it can continue for a couple more weeks, and then we can all have a winter off and, celebrate.
We'll go again then in February in the World Championships. He says. So that's a look back at the win, and now we'll see what's happening in the world of Salford Devils. So we'll start with the big news. 3,000 tickets shifted. Parker for the big game on Saturday. Tremendous support. It's going to be another noisy one.
Yes, yeah, I think it probably will. it'd be nice to see that terrace full. It's you know, we generally struggle to fill a couple of steps. But no, absolutely brilliant. I know the club must be buzzing. The players will be loving it. And it's great. I love it. The more the merrier for me. I've got no problem about that. And I dare say there'll be people already planning on going who haven't been to the stadium to buy tickets. There'll be people we won't know about who are going. So I can see being chaos on the night, so I'd get there early just to secure your spot on that terrace. But yeah, just brilliant numbers. I think we'll have more at Saints than we had at Huddersfield, and that was enough. So yeah, it'll be noisy. The atmosphere will be electric. It will, because Saints fans, they make a noise as well. You know, they're generally up for a song and a bit of banter. So yeah, it could be a good night, a really good night on the terraces. And if the game's as good as they have been recently, and as exciting as maybe the one that we had earlier this year down there, where they just picked us. You know what a night it could be, or afternoon rather.
Yeah, 3,900 the capacity in our stand, Paul. I think it's obviously important. Obviously, if there's fans going to this who might not necessarily be season ticket holders or people who go every week, and if you're buying 25 tickets, let's say, I think it's important that somehow you can collect your new supporter data and give that to the club so they can build their database. I think it's really important. Obviously, we're getting into talking about possibly grand final appearance and last season's massive queues, and obviously not able to sort of collect them potential new fans data so we can sort of spam them with offers next season or whatever. So I think it's up to us fans, if you're part of that process and you're purchasing 30 tickets for 30 people, take upon yourself to get a postcode, get a first line, and just hand it to the club and say add that to your database.
Yeah, I think you're right. You broke up a bit there, Rob, so I missed a bit of that. But yeah, I think so, yeah. And let's hope people stay involved. And, you know, Salford's for life, isn't it? Just a playoff run. So, I mean, I always think that. I mean, you've got to take the good times. No, it's true. You've got to take the good times, the bad times of sport. I mean, and, you know, this might not last forever. So, you know, let's just stick with them. But yeah, if you get a load of tickets and that, yeah, perhaps just pass your email addresses onto the club. I don't know how all that works with like data protection, all this sort of stuff. But I'm pretty sure you can do in that. But I just hope if we do get to the grand final, it's not me being a moaner, but I hope sort of season ticket holders get a bit of a first shout, because not that I'm saying we're more important than other people, but I don't think you should be pushed to the back of the queue if you're a season ticket holder, because you put your money where your mouth is every season, don't you? But no, the more people that go, the better. I think it'd be great. I mean, like you two, I've been to Knowsley Road when Salford played there, and that cowshed behind the goal, and there's probably been about 100 of us there, and we've just been going out, got my dad, and used to park up in them streets and used to think, God, if we can keep it under 30 tonight, we've done well. We used to say stuff like that, and it's like, blimey, now we're actually going somewhere to get to a grand final. So, you know, it changes, doesn't it? And I've seen Saints supporters having a pop at us saying, oh, you're coming out of the woodwork and that, and I think to myself, right, if you're a Saints fan now, right, if you said to a Saints supporter, right, I want you to wait 46 years now after this season and keep going to Saints every week, and you're not going to win a trophy now for 46 years, how many of them do you think will keep the faith and keep going? Not many, I'm telling you. So no, don't have a go at the Salford supporters. I think we've been through enough hardship over the years, and I think we're going to enjoy Saturday and see where it takes us.
It's going to be fantastic. Obviously, hopefully, a couple more days of ticket selling. We could be, you know, moving into another stand, possibly Parky. You don't know.
Yeah, there's every possibility. Obviously, seats, because people will be requesting seat tickets anyway. You know, for some people, you know, they need to sit down at a game. You can't expect everybody to be, you know, the great physical shape and be able to stand up for 80 minutes plus every week. It's just not going to happen. So I dare say we've already sold quite a few seated tickets. That doesn't, you know, there will still be a little bit of space on the terrace as it is at the moment. But yeah, I think they will. I think they'll have to open it up, and I think people may be planning on travelling up on the day, just going and trying to get in. And you know, I hope they make provisions for that just in case, because I think they might get caught out by how many Salford fans might just turn on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Other bits of news: Mark Sneyd broke 2 club records this week. Paul, most points in a season, 224, and most goals kicked.
Is that a Super League record, Rob?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a bit behind David Watkins' record, I think, innit? But they played a lot more games, didn't they, back then? So yeah, but phenomenal. I mean, I track him every week at League Express because they have the leading scorers in there, don't they? And been keeping my eye on that, been keeping my eye on the Albert Goldthorpe table, hoping Brodie Croft gets the points every week, which he did do, which was marvellous. And you've got Paul Rowley now who's up for Coach of the Year. You've got Brodie Croft who's up for Man of Steel. It's I mean, Ken Seo's not that far behind. Well, he's dropped behind Bevan French, hasn't he, on the golden boot, like the try scoring, but he's not a million miles behind. So it's been great. I mean, when have we ever had 3 players in a dream team and things like that? It's been outstanding. The individual performances, and like you said before, it's not just been about 1 or 2 players. It's like spread throughout the whole team, isn't it? So yeah, it's been great. Been absolutely great.
Yeah. Parky, the Salford Devils ladies scrum half Demi Jones, kicked a goal and amassed 200 points this season. 19 appearances, 9 tries, 89 goals, 202 points. Another wonderful goal kicker.
Yeah. I think we mentioned the other night on our little pop-up musical interlude.
I'll come to that
podcast,
in a minute.
about Demi. It's funny how she's a half-back like Mark. She kicked goals like Mark Sneyd. She's had a phenomenal season. Widnes's loss was obviously our gain, but that's some record. That in such a few 19 games did you say?
Yeah, 19.
I mean, that's some effort. That. But she did have a lot of kicking practice at times because them girls have scored some tries this year. So yeah, she's I think we're lucky all round to have the girls around her that can score that many tries and someone to convert that many. A great achievement. I just want to say, by the way, the one award that nobody gets, there's never been brought up yet, is Chairman of the Year. I think there's only one winner of that, a man who must pull his hair out every single week, every month, looking at his wage bill going, I've got to make 3,000 fans on that terrace cover this bill. How he does it, I don't know. Paul King's been an absolute revelation, hasn't he? And he's the head of this organisation, and the feel good factor and everything else comes from the top. It always has to. So I just wanted to give Paul a bit of a rap there, and obviously Bleedy behind him and everybody else. Because from top to bottom, we're getting there. We haven't got enough money to do it yet, but we're getting there.
That's what it's all about. It's about building a structure, and success will come. And that's what Paul King has done. He's got the right people in the right places, I think, now, and it's only going to help the club going forward. Success on the field speeds up that process, but going in the right direction. We're going at speed at the moment. Talking about going in the right direction, our PDRL team are looking for players. They've had a really good season, Paul, in the different festivals, and now they're looking for players to come in and boost the numbers, and hopefully another successful season in 2023.
Yeah, they've had a terrific season, haven't they? And the enthusiasm that they play with, and another string to the feel good factor, really, isn't it? It's been great, and I think now with the success of it, one expansion and more players to come and join in. So I think it's been great. It has been a season of good news. Every single week, there's been something good happening at the club, and we can't mention the feel good factor enough. I mean, you've just mentioned Paul King there, like Parky. I think, yeah, he deserves an awful lot of credit, really. I know he's quite an humble sort of bloke, and so is Bleasy as well. And they do. I mean, yeah, they'd probably bite your hand off for a bit of cash and that, wouldn't they? But we've not really got loads of cash. But perhaps sometimes in sport, you don't always need vast amounts of money to make things work. You just cut your cloth accordingly, don't you? And you live. It's a bit like us in life, isn't it? If you've not got loads of money from your job, you just get by, don't you? And make the best of things and put a smile on your face and just be happy about things. And that's what everybody seems to be like at the club at the moment. The players seem happy. You speak to them. We've got a team of characters, and Paul King's a character. Bleasy, the supporters, everybody's doing really well, I think. And it's been a great news story and a great season.
Yeah, if you want to get involved in the PDRL team, contact craig.fisher@salfordcc.ac.uk and he will organise that for you. I'll talk about other things that's happening at Parkhead. The business event, which the club are promoting, is on the 16th of September, end of the week. An opportunity for businesses to come together, network, and hopefully help the club too.
Yeah, is it Club 13 or something?
That's the one.
It's, you know, these kind of things are massive because it's introducing people to each other, to businesses that they may not, you know, get to communicate with or, you know, pick up ideas from, but also they get to see what it's like at a professional sports club and how that's run. And hopefully these companies coming together who may not initially have an interest in rugby league or anything, may think, I want to be part of this. I like this. And obviously, the more success you get on the pitch, and like we've just mentioned there about all the other teams, you know, and the success we're having there, people want to get involved and they want to be associated with success. And hopefully, events like this, you know, can rub off. And even if only one or two sponsors stick around from it, it's extra. And again, we're going back to that, you know, that horrible word is money, but without it, we're probably, you know, we're in trouble. So, yeah, it's a good way of introducing each other, but also trying to get somebody more attracted to the game. Knows where it goes from there.
Yeah. Other events that are happening, the Salford Red Devils Foundation hosted their first schools tournament for the year, and all the schools have just gone back. The Co-op Swinton, they had a rugby festival for years 10 and years 11. It's great. They're back in the community, spreading the gospel of rugby and Salford Devils, pal.
Yeah, it's great that they're back at school as well, mate. 6 weeks, 6 weeks is too long, isn't it? That my missus will say that to you. But no, it is great. I mean, you've just got to look at the things at the moment at the club. Look at those lads that made their debuts the other week. I know they're not all sort of school age, but you know, we've got some youngsters in that reserve set up now, and if you can get some school kids around the area playing the game as well, and all get that pathway created, get people involved in the sport, get people loving and watching Salford, I think it's tremendous, because how many schools are in the local area? There's loads, isn't there? So yeah, good to see that, and keeping them busy as well, and spreading the gospel of rugby league, as you said.
Yeah, I want to say a big thanks to everyone who's donated to us through the Ko-fi to keep us broadcasting, all the subscriptions and things like that. It's a fantastic thing you're doing for us. And finally, Parky, let's talk about our pop-up podcast that we recorded earlier in the week. All your Salford bangers getting in the mood for the big game on Saturday.
Yeah, some absolute classics. Brilliant. I listened to it back the other night. I very, 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 I shouldn't really tell you this, but I very, very rarely listen to our podcast.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Because I can't stand the sound of my own voice, even though people listening probably can't believe that because I never shut up. But I find it a bit vain more than anything. So, but that I had to, and I was listening to the music, and I know certain ones were kind of pre-agreed, but you threw a few bangers in there, and I was smiling. It did get me in the mood. It really did. There's some belters on there relating to players in the past and obviously ones in the future. And yeah, I mean, you think back to some of the songs, and we used to sing them on the terrace, and they seem to have vanished. And then all of a sudden, you're listening to them back, going, "Oh, do you remember that?" And but no, it was good. It was good to do. It was good fun, and it's if anyone's not listened to it yet, just give it a whirl. You'll end up singing 2 or 3 of them. They'll get stuck in your head. Believe me, but what else are you going to be doing this week? You might as well.
Yeah, it was a bit different, Paul. Obviously, with this podcast, this is where we do our talking, but we do like to throw the odd banger out when we get to special occasion of the semi-finals and cup finals, like Parky said, to get everyone in that cup fever mood.
They do get in your head. I tell you what song's got in my head, and I've been singing it at work and tapping boiler cases and that all week. That Salford, get back to that's the most annoying song going, but I've been whistling it, going for my dinner and that, and you just find yourself humming the stupid song that it is. And our Imogen's been singing it, and it's got swear in it as well. And she's been coming to the games, and I think I can't repeat the words on there, but she's picking up like swear words.
Yeah.
And she seems to think because it's at rugby, I can get away with it. So I was coming home in the van the other day, and she's singing and going, I said, you can't. when you go home to your mum, you can't be saying this sort of stuff. Between me and you in the van, yeah, we're all right. But as soon as we get home, pack it in now. But yeah, no, I'll give that a listen, lads. I've not listened to that yet, but I'll put that on in my van tomorrow. I'll listen to that while I'm floating about.
Yeah, you find, Paul, when you go with kids, sort of reactions. I remember on Saturday, I think the referee failed to give a penalty or something, and I was like, oh, I do not believe that. And I looked to my left hand side, and Rory was like, what are you doing? didn't register it, but it was, yeah. You have to kind of watch yourself around the kids sometimes. They're like sponges, aren't they? Just take it all in, every word of every syllable of every word.
Yeah, and I know when Ryan Briley got sin bin, Ryan Briley's her favourite player. When he got sin bin, she had tears in her eyes. Then she started screaming at the referee, saying, "He can't do that. He's not allowed to do that. The referee can't do that. Nothing wrong with that." Just explaining the rules and things like that. But no, to me, it's great. I mean, there was that many kids there on Saturday, and you could see them all enjoying the match. I've seen a few people I know, and they brought their kids, and they were starting to get into it. And you know, the more and more youngsters that go, I think it's great for the club, innit?
The future is bright. The future is red.
Yeah.
Parker.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you know, it's not an excuse, but these are mainly Salford kids we're talking about. I wouldn't worry too much about that. No,
Angels.
I must admit, you know, I have my nephew with me again, and you know, my brother brings him. He's to take it all with the other, you know, with his other kids. But they're a bit older, but he's at that age now where you start to realise that he's going to high school. He's going to start. These words are going to be there. And I'm thinking he's going to earn them from somewhere. As long as he's not repeating them, that's absolutely fine. Not, you know. And on Saturday, I was over the moon, and the odd expletive may have slipped out, but in joy, not in anger or anything like that. It was meant as an embrace in many ways. And then I looked round and then sort of thought, oh my God, did I just say that in front of him? You know,
yeah.
Listen, it's, you know, if he went to Old Trafford, he'd heard a lot more from a lot more people. So, you know, I'd rather him be at the rugby with me and my brother, and we, you know, we can talk to him if he ever comes out with one, but he's going to do it someday.
I think Rory's at the stage where he's under his breath and he'll say it, and I'll go, what was that? And he'll go, nothing. One of them. So, yeah, it's like you say, rugby league is a family sport. Yada, yada, yada. So that's all the news. And now we'll see what's happening in the world of rugby league with Whiteside's World of Rugby League. So that was Whiteside's World of Rugby League, and now we'll look forward to the big game on Saturday. So Salford travel to St Helens for the semi-final. Parker, big game, big moment.
Yes, you know, I mean, I'm absolutely, but I hope the players don't feel like this, because they'll be very short of sleep this week. No, it's massive, isn't it? It's massive, but it's what they deserve. It's where we deserve to be. You know, I wouldn't swap it for the world. The progression of this team this season is nothing short of phenomenal. It really isn't. You know, I said at the start of the year, and, you know, I said to you two that I think, like everyone else, I think we'll finish in the bottom three. I couldn't see anything else. I looked at our squad, I looked at other squads. I think it shows that nothing's gone on paper. Not played like that. Who'd have thought Warrington would have finished second bottom? You know, with the recruitment they've done and the money they've spent. And you look at our boys, and now we're going to say, telling you for a chance, you know, to go to Old Trafford again. And we're going full of confidence, going knowing that we can beat them. Yes, one of our key, you know, links in the team won't be playing. We'll just put somebody else in, because they're all playing with that confidence. The whole squad's got the, you know, the bug, if you like. I hope they don't get a bug. No, they've just been brilliant. And the thing we've got is, who comes in? All right, you're going to throw Chris Atkin in at half. Who comes into his slot off the bench? We've got competition at this time of the season. We're 80 minutes from Old Trafford. By this time of the year, we're usually held together by strings. You know, what an amazing job that the whole team have done. You know, the backroom team, the physios, the doctors, everybody. to keep these lads, or to get them right at the right end of the season, which happens to good teams. But this is massive, absolutely massive. I don't think the lads will be nervous because I think there's enough experience out there. You know, there's nobody there who's going to sort of freeze or anything like that. And with the confidence going into it, I give us a massive chance of actually just going there and turning them over. And even though, like I said earlier, the history's against us, it's going to break sometime. But why do this week?
It is a big game. Paul Raleigh has a big decision to make, like Parky said, with no Brodie Croft. Obviously, we think about, we're going to assume Chris Atkin goes in to 6, yeah, and leaves a space on the bench. I've had a quick look through the Paul Rowley team and the teams of the last sort of 5-6 weeks, and he goes 3 forwards and Chris Atkin. So now there's no Chris Atkin. What do you think he does?
You're probably going to go 4 forwards, aren't you? I can't see you picking, as much as I respect and like him, I can't see you going with Reece Williams on the bench, because I think it'd be a bit of a waste having a winger on the bench. I can't see him going with Harvey Levett, because I don't think he's up to match speed really for that game. That's nothing against him, but he's hardly played. Greenwood, he's hardly played. I don't know. I think you have to go with a forward then. I mean, I think Sarge's still injured, isn't he? Or he was off the pace a bit. So, but he played really well against Saints. So whether he'll put him on the bench, I'm not too sure. I'll wait and see what happens. But no, it's a blow. But if I was a coach, I'd put Chris Atkin in at standoff, because when we played St Helens away in the league game, we got beat 14-10 there. I thought Chris was great that night, and he was so unlucky not to get the match-winning try. If I was Paul Ruller, I'd put my arm on him this week and say, go and do it this weekend, mate. Go and win that game for us this weekend. And I think he will. I think Chris Atkin will do some. I think he'll score. He's a cracking lad, Chris Atkin. I really, really like him. I couldn't think of anybody better, really, to get the winning try. I think he's a St Helens lad, who's quite a local lad as well. He's been one of those players that's been, model pro throughout his career. Never moaned. Never been one for the headlines, and that just gets on and does his job. So I hope he gets the nod, and I hope he goes and gets the winner.
For me, Parker, it's process over people, and the balance is just right. So I'd go 3 forwards, and I'd have either Amir Burra or Morgan Escaré. Both pivots in a fashion. Not as creative, I'd say, as Chris Atkin, but similar kind of players. I know it'd be a big ask for Amir Burra, because obviously new into the team, not played much this season. It'd be one of them moments that he grows or he shrinks if he gets the opportunity. Morgan Escaré, French international, been there, done it. He might be more suited to that sort of pressure cooker atmosphere of a Challenge Cup, a Super League semi-final performance. So for me, he's got to be one of them two, and keep the system rolling.
Well, I've been thinking about this today, and I think he will obviously start with Chris Atkin. I can't see why he wouldn't, but he does have another option, and I'm not condoning this option, but he could move Ryan Braley to stand off, a man who knows all the pivot moves, who's been linking that role together all season, and put Morgan Escaré at fullback. Not something I would do, but Ryan Braley with Sneed and Brodie Croft have been that little triangle of, they know each other so well. The only thing I would say is I would put Harvey Levett in on the bench as a 4th forward who can play in backs. He can play centre, but he comes on in the second row. Callum Watkins could move centre if he had injuries or whatever else. And the other week, Harvey Levett played standoff. So obviously, Paul Rowley believes he can play halfback. Now, again, not something you condone, But if you're halfway through a game, you've got to move things about. I think Harvey Levette's got that flexibility and that versatility. So it can't be him or Brian Lannan. Brian's not played the last couple of weeks, but I think he's had certainly the back end of the season. I think he's had the best back end of this best half of the season I've seen him have. He's another option. But that's what I'm saying. Even Greenwood could come in on the bench. You know, he's a big lad who's also at some point in his career played out wide, strangely enough. It's a good headache to have. And obviously, like say, Amir Burrow is a hooker. That's the role that needs filling most of the time when you do that. But has he played enough? Is he ready? I don't know. The only people who know are those in the camp. You know, that's what you could do. But I think you don't want to move too many pieces from what you've been doing. So it's straight swap. It's just who comes in on the bench. I think for me, I think you put Atkin in a stand up. You know, you leave everybody else where they are. Probably have to go with 4 forward.
Be interested to see what happens with the team selection on Saturday. Referee is Chris Kendall. I know there was a bit of a hoo-ha on Twitter. Parker's got his head in his hands already. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Parker. We're a good team and we're in form. We play by the rules. We'll win the game.
I'd love to believe that. I think we can play by the rules. I'm just not sure the referee can. I think Paul Hume, it was who put on Twitter today the amount of times we've had him and how many games we've won.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing.
It is.
You know, I mean, we might have been rubbish in all those games. I don't know. But it's basically more or less a whole season of losses under one referee. That's how it comes across over the period. The grand final a couple of years ago, that's what worries me. It's the uncontrollables, the things that we can't do anything about. If we're allowed to, you know, play our game, which we need quick play of the ball, because that's when we have the best success. When Andy Ackers gets 10 yards out of half back, or, you know, we get the right space to play the game, and we do get a fair crack of the whip, then we'll be fine. It does worry me, but I don't know. What can you do? It's on the TV. Everybody's going to see it. So if he does have a stinker and he does get things wrong, he's going to risk getting a grand final out of it.
I've got the stats here, Paul, and our win ratio under Chris Kendall is 23% win ratio. I think we've lost 3 games that he's been in charge of us this season, which was Saints away, Wigan at home, and was it Warrington at home? I can't remember. There was 3 games that we've lost anyway with him. And I've also looked back as well that we're average 1 win every year with him in charge. So Saturday could be that day.
Yeah, I think the St Helens away game, I think they won that with 2 penalty goals, didn't they? 14-10. If you go back to that grand final, I'm not having a pop at Chris Kendall. I thought that grand final, he just seemed to be a bit pedantic to me. And if you're gonna be, do you know what, that Robert Hicks refereed that Huddersfield game? I'm not saying because we won. I thought he was really, really sensible. He sort of understood that it's a playoff game. Tempers are going to be high. I need to referee this with common sense and get that players are hyped up. And that's what you want. To me, them playoff games, you should be like, you know, like when you watch the referee in the State of Origin games, they let little things go because it's a big game. It's not just a regular league game. This is big. So, you know, if he bashes him on the head or he has a go at him or chucks a punch at him, you know, we'll let it go because tempers. And that's how the referee should. But to me, there's a lot of referees now, and he's one of them, Matt Kendall, James Charles, another one. They're like the school teachers, the way they penalise and everything. And to me, you've got to have a bit of give and take. I don't want to see a game that's got a load of penalties, and I want to see Salford and St Helens glamour and tongue. You know what? Last week I thought it was brilliant. Chris Hill, Jack Ormerod did a bit of a set too. It was great. That's what rugby league's all about. That's what gets the crowd up. We love to see that. Don't be simbing them for that. Have a chat with them. Say, look, calm down, lads. Brilliant. I thought it was great from Robert Hicks. And if Chris Kendall referees it like that, you won't even notice him. It'll be the teams you're talking about and not the referee.
Parker, you have one opportunity to pass a message on to the players before this big game. What do you say?
Bloody hell.
Is he there?
I think, obviously, there's no pressure.
No.
But go and enjoy it and do what you've been doing. That's all they can do. You are good enough. That's all there is to it. Go and do what you've been doing, and enjoy what you do. I've got, like I say, there's no pressure from. We would love to win. We know we would. I think all three of us here would agree that no matter what happens on Saturday, this season has been nothing but a success, and we can't heap enough praise on this team and the coaching staff. So, from a fan's point of view, for me, I've just loved this last 3-4 months have been absolutely phenomenal, and I've got no pressure on the players at all. I'd love to win, but if we don't, well done for what you've done this year, and thank you. But just go and play the way you've been playing. Entertain us. If we win, we win. Simple.
Paul?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I just keep it simple, Rob, to be honest with you. I mean, there's that saying gets said a lot. A friend of mine said that a number of years ago now, that give us our hearts and we'll give you ours. And Vinny, who said that, passed away a few weeks ago. I heard from one of the supporters, and he's watched over a long time, and I think that's you've got to. If I was Paul Rowley, I'd say get out there and do it for them lot behind the sticks. Do it for them lot and do it for yourselves. And there's people who are no longer with us, who've watched Salford for years and have never seen us lift a trophy. And let's go out and put a few things right. St Helens and Wigan win stuff all the time. Let it be Salford's turn now. Go and take this opportunity with both hands. Go and grab it.
I would say it's a moment, it's an opportunity, and it's in your hands. And at the moment, we've got it. Whatever it is, whatever good teams have, which get them over a line in cup competitions, in the league competitions, the last 8 weeks, we've got it, we've had it. So there's no reason to doubt yourself or double bluff yourself, think, oh, are we good enough? Because the last 8 weeks, let's say, shows that you are. And always believe something wonderful is about to happen. And I do believe that's the case. And I think on Saturday, it's a springboard, isn't it? It's a springboard to greatness, to etch yourself into the club's history, really. And I just hope that obviously you'll go home and you'll with your partners and your kids, and you're playing for them. You're not playing for us. You're playing for your family, and you're playing for yourself. And wearing your shirt, obviously, us fans will support you to the moon and back. But really, it's about you and your family, and putting in that performance that will hopefully be enough to take us to a challenge, to a grand final. So after that deep and emotional moment, Parker, give us your score prediction.
I haven't thought about this. I forgot about this bit.
We do it every week.
No.
Still top of the league as well, the prediction league.
Is there?
I'm going to say St Helens 16. Salford Red Devils 24.
16. Paul?
I've wrote mine down on League Express. Hang on. St Helens 18.
Yeah.
25.
25. So I'm going fairy tale stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
Because that's what this season is, really. It's a fairy tale. So I'm going to go Saints 6, Salford 40. 46. and Max need double.
Do you know what, Rob? I can't even say to you that's ridiculous, because something like that could happen. The way they're playing this season, something like that could happen. I'm not saying it's gonna do, but I don't know. Let's just win.
The pressure's on Saints. They're the champions.
They're the favourites.
They've been there and done it. Is it 13 years? I think it's been to the grand final 13 times. So everyone expects them to go, and we're the underdog, and we're in form. You know, we're scoring tries. Yeah, we've not got Brodie Croft, but this is a test. You know, we joke about minerals, don't we? And you know how we've suddenly found a way to win games, but this is the ultimate mineral test, isn't it? If you can go to the champions away from home and win without arguably your star player, shows what minerals are all about.
Yeah, I think just going on from that, obviously, Paul Rowley will just remind the lads of the sacrifices that they've made all year to get to this. This is what they've been working for. But, do it for Brodie. Do it for Brodie. Simple. He's been inspirational. He's one of the reasons we are where we are. So just remember that when you're going out there. He is, he's still here with us. Let's get him to a final.
One team, one dream. That's what it is, Paul.
Yeah, and I think you've probably got some players in that side as well, without being disrespectful, like maybe Alex Gerrard, who's come in, and Dion Crofts, and people, Chris Atkin for another one, who've probably never really dreamt about getting to grand finals. They've never really played for a Wigan or a St Helens or a Leeds or anybody like that. And now they're sort of 80 minutes away. This could be the absolute pinnacle of their career. Jack Ormeroy's another one. He's 30-year-old now. He's probably playing the best rugby league of his career. If I was Paul Rowley, I'd be saying to him, you've got a chance now of going to a final and winning a major trophy. And, something you can always hold to your heart and show your grandkids. I've won a Super League medal. No, let's go and do it. I mean, these sort of opportunities don't come along very often, do they? But someone said that the other day. I mean, in 2019, I never thought I'd see this again, and here we are 3 years later, and we're nearly there again. So I don't know. So things can happen if you work hard enough for them. Things can happen, can't they? But yeah, let's just hope. 1980 is a long time ago. My dad was telling me about that the other day. He went with his mate Billy to that game, and he was only 21. My dad then wasn't married, didn't get married till September. And he said, all my married life, we've never won there. And he said 42 years is like a lifetime. He said, think about how, I wrote about a bit of that in the preview this week, how much the Britain has changed in 42 years. It's crazy. So yeah, let's get that monkey off. I mean, the Leeds one from 1977 to 2009 was long enough, but I think 1980, now I think it'd be special to go and win there. And the added caveat of that, to get to a grand final as well, and to sort them smug sort of St Helens supporters out and rub their faces in it. I'd love that.
So that's the end of this week's show. Parker all got a bit sort of tense in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, if we're just thinking about if we're feeling the nerves, how the lads are feeling right now. No, all we can say is, it's been a great little chat this week again. We're all on a high. It's been like that for most of the year, and all I can say is good luck to the lads, and just go and enjoy yourself, boys, and let's hope we've got another joyous week to talk about next week.
Yeah, another great show. Paul, obviously, all set for the big game Saturday.
Yeah, I can't see you, Rob, on the video, but I could see Parky before, and I thought he was going to well up. He's really emotional, and a bit like me. I feel the same, and I think any Salford supporters will be. You've watched them a long time, seen the bad times and that. I mean, these are the times where you've got to enjoy them. You've got to soak them up, and because you never know if we're going to get these opportunities again, do you? So yeah, to the supporters, I just say enjoy this week now, enjoy the build up, enjoy the day on Saturday, and whatever happens, you'll still be a Salford supporter on Sunday morning. So yeah, enjoy it. Yeah.
So big thanks to you this week's Devil in the Detail podcast. Arbro Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD. And you find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. Good luck, Reds. We'll see you on the other side.